Alexa, I'm home. Turn on the lights. Hey Siri, get me to the best pizza store in town. Hey Siri, can you navigate the shortest way to work today? Did anyone notice anything? All of these three commands have something similar. This similarity is referred to as the artificial intelligence. An invention is clearly meant to assist humans in performing their responsibilities in a far more effective, efficient, and sufficient manner. The history of humans is saturated by groundbreaking inventions that changed each and every aspect of human life and continues to do so to this very moment. Automation is defined as the process of using technology to replace human labor in the performance of certain tasks or jobs. Automation began with hardware mechanization, but it has now expanded to include the use of technology to further facilitate the work involving humans. However, current technological advancement and progress point to something very different in the future. Most people associate artificial intelligence with sci-fi films like Star Wars, Avatar, or Terminator, in which machines try to behave similar to humans. Artificial intelligence and machine learning may appear to be a fantastical, far-fetched concept, but AI is applied in a wide spectrum of current technological products, many of which empower and aid us in our daily duties. Even your regular trip to and from work, believe it or not, necessitates the employment of artificial intelligence. AI is used by navigational apps such as Google Maps to analyze traffic speed. AI has been used by apps such as LucidPix, Snapchat, and Facebook that utilize the facial recognition technology. The most common application of artificial intelligence is in digital apps like Siri, Alexa, and Google Assistant. These AI-powered apps or personal assistants can understand and transform your spoken requests into actions. For instance, after you have completed viewing one video, YouTube, with the help of AI, proposes a sequence of videos that you might enjoy watching next. These are just a few examples of how AI has already infiltrated our daily lives. As our day-to-day activities are influenced and modified by AI-powered objects, the nation has been experiencing something similar but on a much more broader level. The economy of a country is influenced by various factors. The supply and demand of a skilled and educated workforce are the most important elements. The country's technology is another important aspect. Because of the COVID-19 limitations, millions of people have lost their jobs. The World Economic Forum concluded in a recent research that a new generation of smart machines and swift developments in artificial intelligence will substitute a large percentage of existing human jobs. As a result of the present worldwide pandemic, businesses have begun to use newer technologies in order to cut manufacturing costs and increase productivity. The inclusion of robots and other intelligent technologies will further compound the problem. According to the World Economic Forum, by 2025, the automation would have displaced 85 million jobs. Currently, machines execute around 30% of all tasks, with humans handling the remainder. By the year 2025, it is expected that the numbers will have shifted to a 50-50 split. Through the annual survey of manufacturers, the Annual Capital Expenditures Survey (ACES), and the Annual Business Survey, the Census Bureau of the United States of America began evaluating enterprises' usage of robotics. According to the poll, American enterprises have begun to use robots, with the industrial Midwest in particular being the most saturated amongst the manufacturing industries across the United States. More than 30% of the workforce in industries like transportation, equipment, primary metals, plastics, and rubber production is made up of robots. The automobile industry employs the greatest number of robots, and the cost of maintaining such a high-tech workforce exceeds $1 billion. According to the 2018 report, the majority of businesses and industries have boosted their use of digitalization and automation, which includes business approaches such as machine learning and machine vision robotics. Several American businesses are adopting robots to increase their efficiency. In 2012, Amazon purchased a firm called Kiva Robotics. According to a report, Amazon already employs around 100,000 fulfillment robots in its warehouses across the world. Additionally, Amazon operates stores on the Amazon Go platform, a new type of store with the world's most powerful shopping technology and no cashiers. According to a Time magazine article, the urge to replace humans with equipment is accelerating as businesses try to minimize COVID-19 infections in the workplace while keeping production costs low. According to the statistics provided by the Time magazine article, the United States has lost roughly 40 million jobs, with about 42% of those positions never coming back. Warehouses, for example, play a critical role in today's enterprises. Initially, the job or task of robots were confined to moving pallets along a predetermined course. But with the advancements in technology, next-generation robots now have the ability to operate a wide variety of objects with specific characteristics. Various industries have seen an unanticipated set of advancements in deployment of automation over the previous decade. Employees were pressured to follow work styles influenced by artificial intelligence business approach due to the quick development in e-commerce and a shortage of employees to meet the demanding operations. Many factories all across the world use robots in executing tasks such as sorting goods, picking them up, and putting them into boxes. Humans, on the other hand, are in charge of sensitive objects. However, robots will eventually take their place. In the age of automation, things aren't all doom and gloom. Artificial intelligence played a vital role in addressing key difficulties throughout the COVID-19 phase. Governments all across the world, for example, are enforcing social distancing criteria with AI technology. Several healthcare facilities attempted to speed up COVID-19 testing in 2020 by using automated consultation and other telehealth services. Furthermore, universities like MIT and institutions such as IBM were using the AI platform to diagnose sepsis in COVID-19 patients. Many aspects and statistics have allowed the average person to consider the real-world implications of artificial intelligence. However, the best way to deal with change is to either be the change you want to see in the world, according to M.K. Gandhi, or at the very least, get accustomed to it. Employers, employees, institutions, and governments all around the world should devise a strategy or method that leads to a successful balance between humans and technology. Several academicians and intellectuals from around the world have proposed quite a few intriguing strategies for mitigating negative effects of artificial intelligence. Experts have suggested a number of remedies, including enhancing shareholder integration across all types of borders, sectors, and organizations. Governments and institutions across the world must agree on the concept of collaboration. The government should play a more active role in shaping the AI policy of the nation. For instance, the Office of Management and Budget provided final recommendations to federal agencies on when and how to regulate private sector AI usage on November 17, 2020. However, based on the present trends, the US government is unlikely to impose any AI-related legislation in the foreseeable future. There will, however, and undoubtedly be regulatory involvement that will set the tone for the government's approach to protecting citizens against AI. The second alternative is to concentrate on building strategy and rules to ensure that AI development is aimed toward enhancing human well-being, creating legislation that take into account a set of ethical norms, standards, and practical techniques to ensure that we use AI ethically and for the greater good. According to the Harvard Gazette, by 2024, global AI spending is predicted to reach $110 billion. Almost every major corporation now has various AI systems and considers AI deployment to be an important part of their overall strategy. In today's world, ethical norms are divided into three categories: privacy and surveillance, bias and discrimination, and the function of human judgment, which is perhaps the most important of all. We must ensure that algorithms do not inherit the predisposition for bias that exists in humans. In terms of AI, however, there is an agreement on striking a balance between ethical and non-discriminatory use, opacity, and innovation. Around 96% of Americans think internet data privacy is essential to them, and many are willing to take steps to protect themselves. For example, 92% say They would deactivate a frequently used app if their personal information was sold to a third party. Another option for AI's impending ubiquity is to alter and rewrite our work styles, our political, educational, and economic systems in order to improve citizens' ability to adapt and excel in the age of robots. For example, the US government funds technology-related research through a program known as Research on Emerging Technologies for Teaching and Learning Initiative, RETTL. Horizon 2020 is a European Union-funded robotics research program. Industries such as manufacturing, healthcare, transportation, consumer, and agricultural robotics are among the research and innovation topics amenable to this framework. The National Robotics Initiative was established by the United States government to support basic robotics research and development. According to a recent Forbes article, public opinion polls show that the general population is not enthusiastic about AI. In 3 years, around 34% of employees expect their employment to be replaced. According to the analysis, AI would dispense or destroy 75 million jobs by 2022, with a net gain of 133 million new jobs around the world. The primary challenge, though, is how humans will adapt to the new employment that AI will create. Would governments all around the world be willing to foot the bill for those whose lives have been disrupted by the introduction of such technology? Many people's age, physical, financial, and educational capacities will have an impact on their ability to attain or refine expertise needed for these new employment opportunities. Artificial intelligence will determine the fate of emerging economies. The degree to which AI is implemented is anticipated to make an impact on emerging economies such as Africa, India, China, and other South Asian countries. According to an article published by Analytics Insight, India receives around 65% of worldwide IT offshoring and 40% of global business processing jobs. This opens up a lot of room for intelligent automation, since tech experts predict that by 2030, over 70% of jobs in India's official employment sector will be automated. The technology driving the fourth industrial revolution has already pervaded our daily lives. From waking up to series news updates, to falling asleep to a movie chosen by Netflix AI recommendation engine, artificial intelligence has the ability to either build or destroy the world. AI is a platform whose foundations are made up of algorithms, a type of concrete, if I may say so. Algorithms can be used to replicate, reinforce, copy bias, and misinformation. The technology, as well as the tools to use it, must remain in the hands of highly disciplined and accountable organization. The use of data analytics to mimic some human talents has ethical implications. It should serve as a reminder that new technologies help people in asymmetric ways, with some people suffering while others benefiting. The introduction of vital and sophisticated levels of technology that have the potential to not only expose the vulnerabilities of the human workforce, but also change the future of humans. At one point in time, automation, artificial intelligence, and robotics were a topic that piqued the curiosity of the scientific community, academic community, entertainment industry, corporations, economists, and the general public. Nonetheless, it is a source of great concern in today's world. There's no doubt that AI has already reshaped and will continue to reshape our lives. While it's simple to raise alarms about artificial intelligence driving unemployment and eliminating positions, the outcome will likely be more nuanced than lost jobs or ever-changing industries.